skinned whoever he was talking to. I can't remember who it was. And that was posted on YouTube and all over the place, and it's gotten millions of hits.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that, but I'll check that out.
It's awesome. Like he's just.
So what you're
himself.
saying is he was just a plain old Mark.
Pretty much.
I can't make that the title of the episode because last week's episode was Mark Sandwich.
Yeah, so I read.
I can't make it over Mark. We can't overmark this.
No, but I think this is just a natural progression for a retiring wrestler.
It's a logical progression.
Who's seen a ton of stuff in his tenure.
Dude, he's done everything. What more can he do?
Luckiest guy in wrestling history?
The only thing left for him to do is to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, and Den just said it. He's probably the luckiest guy in wrestling history.
Oh yeah,
because he went from being a laughingstock joke of a man in the ring to being the most iconic wrestling character ever.
He's been bopping around for 10 years doing shit. Goes to Vince McMahon, gets the freaking shittiest gimmick of all time. And now he's the GOAT.
And turned it into the greatest thing that you could have ever asked for.
Like, oh holy shit.
And seriously, he's the only guy who could have pulled that off. Because they said they wanted to give that gimmick to multiple different people prior, but nobody could pull it off.
Hot diggity damn.
And he's the biggest gimmick in all of pro wrestling history.
Without a doubt. And he's one of the only guys that virtually never broke kayfabe.
No, in fact, recent years is the most kayfabe he's ever broken.
Yeah. He lived, breathed everything, The Undertaker.
I think that's actually why his biker run was significant, because he kind of got to be himself. Whether or not you like the gimmick, Glenn.
Yeah, it's... I didn't like it. Here's the thing. I wouldn't have cared about the gimmick. Like, I would have been fine with it if they didn't call him The Undertaker. If they let him go by
his mean Mark
or whatever, if they would have gone by any of that, I would have been fine with it. But The Undertaker going from I dig graves, I bury people, I have all these supernatural powers to
he was
I ride a motorcycle.
Write it down on paper because it looks great on paper. He's an undead zombie who's being controlled by a magical urn.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there it is, the most successful gimmick in all of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And then at one point, he was a devil worshipping cult leader.
I thought that was awesome.
Oh, the Ministry was great.
The Ministry was great, and it also had my favorite of the Undertaker's musics.
Oh my god!
Oh, with the guitars. Oh yeah.
With the guitars and the and like the very mild chanting in it, and I really dug that whole. I don't know, something about that was just very creepy and very cool.
So I have both the Undertaker's current theme, the current iteration, and that version of the Ministry theme on my actual Halloween playlist that I just play in September and October when I'm getting ready in the mood. Those actually play.
I have that currently. I have those
along
songs.
with Gangrel's theme.
I have Gangrel's as well. I have them on my stick in my car at the current moment.
Yes.
Marks.
I listen to them as I drive around.
Oh god, I think Ellis just titled the episode. He called it the Dong Song.
That dong, da dong, dong, dong.
He wrote Dong's out for Taker in the chat.
Oh god.
He said dong a lot, like way too much for me to go back and read all that.
There's a lot of dong here.
Let me see that dong.
Oh god. If Undertaker ever came out to the thong song as a rib, he'd probably just walk in the back and just punch the person.
Dong, da, dong, dong, dong.
Yeah, like when do you remember? Remember when the pyros went off on him at the Elimination Chamber? like 3 times in a row. Did you ever hear the story of what happened afterwards? Jericho tells in his book, he runs to the back and he goes, and he said all he sees is Taker and Vince, and Taker goes, I don't want an apology. I don't want an explanation. I just want that guy gone, because if I see him, I'm going to fucking murder him. And he just got up and walked away. And Jericho's like, we never saw that sound guy again.
Well, taking into consideration, he just wrestled a match with his leather jacket melted to his flesh.
Oh, yeah, that was... Oh, God, I remember reading that story. And
that was so weird watching that, because you just see him, he's making his entrance, and all of a sudden he just angrily throws his jacket down and runs into the ring. It's like, holy shit, he just did the fastest entrance ever.
The other thing that always drove me nuts about that was the fact that, like, Jericho's like, should we change anything? And he's just like,
no,
nah, kid, let's do what we got to do. And Jericho's like, oh my God, I had to put him in the walls of Jericho for like the time, and he's on the grate chest, on the outside, on his chest, just digging into it.
It also reminds me of the WrestleMania where Triple H got burnt by the freaking dry ice. During his entrance. And you could see the burn because every time the freaking black light went around, you would see a mark on him.
He looked like he had a big ass nasty bruise. Like somebody took a can of gasoline, threw it on him, lit it on fire. It just looked like this big ass bullseye bruise on his thigh or something, right?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Oh.
Yeah, well, remember Taker's return entrance at WrestleMania 20? One of the Druids caught on fire?
Yes.
that was Kevin Knight, the head trainer of the IWF, the guy that trained Joey Image and Johnny Toxic.
He caught on fire?
Yes. Kevin Knight was the Druid who caught on fire.
Help, I'm on fire.
Roman Vachko was one of them too, but I don't think he caught on fire.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing that story, and I asked John. John's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Kevin. I'm like, that's awesome, but that sucks so bad. He's like, man, I can't believe I get to do this entrance. Oh, God, this sucks.
That's like the dude you see in the background who just, like, if watching a movie, and you just see, like, somebody on fire run completely across the screen and just dive off the stage.
Oh, yeah. Or freaking Denethor in Return of the King. Throws himself in the fire and then runs clear across his entire courtyard and just hurls himself off the balcony.
Yes.
When the Druid came out, they were like, that Druid's on fire!
Okay.
And that's the title of your That Druid's on fire! That's what they did on when they did the honest trailer for Pokemon Red and Blue. When they pulled up Moltres, they're like, "This bird is on fire."
Oh God!
They also did that for one of the My Little Ponyta, and then This Horse is on Fire. Where Ponyta and Rapidash. My Little Ponyta.
Oh yeah, I caught a Ponyta the other day in full on rain with even the thing popped up and said, "You'll catch more water type now." It's raining that much.
I caught a freaking Soul Rock in the snow, so...
My favorite was when it was snowing and I caught the regular ass cast form. That pissed me off.
I've only seen the Fire Boy so far.
Yeah. I finally did get 2 of the Ice Boys, but one of them is super weak because, like, I got rid of all my cast forms under 1,000, and then I've got the Ice Boy that's like 308. I'm like, this sucks.
I've gotten rid of all mine that are under 1,500.
Yeah, because cast forms can be pretty cool. I'm in the process of catching a Mareep as we move on to our next story here. Actually, I was going to follow that up by saying I did a Ponyta raid because I really, really want the shiny one. It wasn't shiny. I caught it, but it wasn't shiny.
Yeah, that sucks.
I know.
I never got a shiny myself. I actually traded my brother for one.
Quick news about they're doing a cast change on Total Divas. Rusev and Lana are donezo with that show, which is kind of disappointing because they were actually one of the few reasons I was still watching.
They were actually fun to watch.
Yeah, they were fucking hysterical.
The two of them together are unreal.
I know, they were great.
And again, one of the reasons why I watch Up, Up, Down, Down so much, because Rusev on there is fucking fantastic.
Tong Po?
Tong Po, Roman Reigns.
Good news, though, is that the Bellas are going to be done because they're going to just stick to Total Bellas. So the Total Divas show, you'll get more of a roster, and they're adding 2 new cast members. They're adding Ronda Rousey and Sonya Deville, which is pretty cool. And I might actually watch for them because I think Sonya's story would be kind of interesting.
Except it's probably still going to be mostly about Naomi.
Yeah, they haven't been focusing on her, though. Well, I kind of also stopped watching. Natty's kind of the main star of Total Divas now. They do most Natty stuff.
My husband should be dead. Look at my cats.
Good Lord. It's true. News coming out of the Pro Wrestling Weekend. Double or Nothing is in fact sold out. 4 minutes. Done.
Took 20 minutes to sell their pre-sale tickets, and then 4 minutes to sell their general admission.
So here we go. Double or Nothing. It's on, baby. It's on. Phoenix did get hurt over the weekend, but I don't think it's anything significant.
Yeah,
so.
He says he'll be back. He was he showed up on the AAA show I watched like the next day. He's wearing a neck brace, but he's like, I'm good. I'll be good.
Well, that's the other thing. Like with somebody like Phoenix with a show that big coming up, I'm sure he'll have no problem being like, "Hey, I'm gonna nurse this for a little bit.
I'm gonna be a little less flippy."
He's got all of the abilities to do it. Like he doesn't need to wrestle in every show.
No.
Especially when you got a big payday coming up, and
that's one of the big things he's got working for him. He's been working for so many places. He's been working so often. He's probably got so much money tucked away.
Oh yeah.
That he can say, "Oh, if I need to take a month off to heal my neck to make sure I'm good for a big show, I'll take that month off."
I mean, there's no point in not, right?
Well, take into consideration he's already shot all of his stuff for Impact because they shoot like 3 months in advance.
Question in the chat because Ellis wants to know what happened to Sting. He retired. He retired during his Hall of Fame speech. His neck problems caught up with him. He decided to call it a career, and he just does ambassador work for WWE now. Yep.
He does meet and greets, he does signings, he does ambassador work.
Word is he's healed enough that he could do one more match if it was right, though.
So are Ellis and Mark Jabroni even listening to the show, or are they just talking to each other? Because that's the chat. They're just chatting with each other. Pay attention, boys. Our time, not your time. Boyo. Ellis misses Sting. Yeah, but you like Goldberg, so you know. I love giving him a hard time about being a Goldberg fan. But, I mean, he's a Georgia boy. And Goldberg's an Atlanta boy. So, I mean, I don't blame him.
He's a bulldog.
He's a bulldog.
He was
a bulldog, all right.
Never cared for Goldberg as a wrestler, but I really liked him as the host of Bull Run.
Also, Garage Mahal. Where they pimped your garage.
I actually never watched that, but I loved the Bull Run show.
I thought Garage Mahal would be Jinder's new gimmick.
Jinder's gimmick where he's a valet driver? Okay, yeah, sure. I don't think he's like a big time valet where he has to park it in a parking structure for like a big ass restaurant.
He's got the Eddie Guerrero job. He's got a
he's the valet at the Undertaker circuit.
Yes. Oh God!
Bring that joke full circle. Bring it full circle. Kota Ibushi has decided to stay in New Japan. He will be in the New Japan Cup.
Good for him.
Yeah, he came out in the middle of the show last weekend, and he said, "I'm staying, and I'm going in the cup."
And our last piece of news for this week, and I always like to sandwich the big stories, and I say this is probably the biggest story, actually, of the wrestling weekend. We have a new IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
And so many people are not happy about this.
Dan,